Hi, I'm DJ with Kite Paddle Surf, and I'm here to kind of give you my first, at least initial review of a mid-length board. This is the first one I've tested. This is the 85 liter. I've had it out on 2 sessions. The first session was incredibly light, probably about 10 to 11 knots, maybe up to 12, so it was pretty light. And the second session was probably about 13 to 15 knots. Pretty amazing board. Initially, what I've kind of found is that it doesn't, kind of scoot onto foil quite as well, so I was using more of the scooping power of the hand wing to bring it up onto foil. But it generates just speed so much quicker even than the new FG70. At 2 inches narrower, it's definitely noticeable, also especially with the length. Another thing that you'll really notice quickly is how much, again, it's only 2 inches narrower than the new FGs, but it's much easier and much faster to paddle. It really does feel more like a shortboard surfboard. I've really ridden this only with the 980 Armstrong foil with the Speed 180 tail. Great initial reviews again on this. The difference I'm feeling, and it's mostly a skill issue for me, is that the longer nose, I do touch it down more often, and it caused me to miss some pretty easy things that I would normally get. And it became easier as I went in, but it's just something different about the length. Another option you could go to get more clearance with one of these, if you're going to mostly use these, is go with probably the 93 centimeter mast instead of the 86 that I usually use. It's only a little bit, but that clearance would have caused me not to really miss near as much. In tighter bound up waves, which you tend to encounter here in Bellingham on lighter days, and at some of our thermal spots, the little bit of more bunched up wave is really where I'm touching this down. If the waves are more spread out, like they had more time to set up, or in higher wind conditions, I wouldn't be having that issue. But really noticeable how much easier it takes off. Just it generates speed, and all of a sudden you're onto foil very smoothly. At 2 inches narrower than the FG, I really didn't notice a difference in the side-to-side stability. But as you scoot forward, and especially if that wing causes you to surge forward, sometimes if my weight is a little bit forward on a 70 liter board, I can kind of plunge it like a submarine a little bit, and you have to put back foot pressure on and bring it back up, or just relieve pressure out of the wing. This one, because it's simply longer and higher volume, it really doesn't do that. For me, at 170 pounds, I really couldn't plunge the nose. But I think that does change a little bit of the pumping sequence of getting it onto foil. It's not as easy to mush it and to start kind of the pumping sequence to bring it onto foil. So I think you need to generate a little more forward speed with this first, and then you can get it to start pumping, and it comes off and really clears the water very quickly. I think for a lightweight or a light wind solution, I think these are just fantastically fun. And I think if you do a 2-board quiver, that's where I would really go for probably a bigger size in your mid-length. And then with your shorter type board like the Armstrong FG series, you could go a bit smaller. But at 170 pounds, if I was just going to go with one board for Bellingham, I definitely think I would go with the 75. Just because it's a little bit shorter, so in those higher wind conditions it's going to come around quicker. And if I lived in a really windy spot, I think like the gorge, I'd probably go down to a 65. And I think all 3 sizes would be very easy to ride. Not easy necessarily, but at 170 pounds I can ride them strapless. I think if I go down to like a 55, that's where at my skill level, I would definitely need to still use at least a front strap. So that's kind of my initial review of this amazing board. Just like all the other Armstrong boards, this does include a custom sized bag, and they're made for each size. So that's approximately a $200 value, that comes with this, and it really helps protect the board from, minor cracks, dings, and scratches. Overall, I mean, just if you look at it too, cosmetically, it's just a beautiful board. It looks kind of like a mid-length surfboard. It really has, a lot more cosmetic appeal than a lot of the downwind boards that people were using last year and even the year before that come out of the downwind foiling. Overall, just beautiful with the carbon on the rails. Another really cool thing about this board is this marking. And this marks where exactly your track is. So you can really get a visual appeal from the top deck of where your foil could be, and then you would just kind of want to match it to where you actually mounted the foil into the system. They've really just made a winner with this series. We've sold quite a few. Mostly we've sold the 75. Fantastic board overall. So if you have any questions for us, please give us a call, email us, or chat with us live here at Kite Paddle Surf. And please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.